Alrighty, this is Therese, and I'm so excited that you are here for the expansion experience. This is my second time running it. And what I did is I created some new content, right? So some of this you have heard before, some of it you might be familiar with, but trust me, you're going to get something new here. So right now I'm actually live streaming in my Firstly brilliant Facebook group. So there are going to be folks watching. So hello, loves. Thank you for watching. So I'm going to go in between the recording and then checking on. So if you're watching it live, feel free to post questions. We will get to them when we can. All right. So today you're going to get some new ideas, some tools, like a deeper understanding of what needs to change, and maybe even validation or permission. That's a wink, wink. Of course, you're going to get that. All right. Okay. So let me make sure that you're the right person. I'm pretty sure you are if you're in my orbit, but this is for you if you're ready to dare to dream even more. Like when I just say that, what happens inside? Are you like, oh, yummy? Yes. And maybe you have been like a lot of people trying other people's formulas, right? You're like, well, this worked last year, or my last guru said this and this. And what happens is when that occurs, sometimes it's awesome. And other times it's like, that's not right for me. That is just feeling really blah, right? Somebody actually yesterday reached out and said, hey, this is some advice I was given, but my body is not aligned with it. And I'm like, exactly. So it takes a pretty brave woman to be able to say, that's cool, but it is not for me, right? You're also in the right place if you believe in energy and the woo-woo, right? So I do, of course, do business coaching and the structure, and we teach marketing and selling and messaging, all that. But to me, everything is energy. Everything is how you are being in the world. Like there's so much that is kind of my slice of this entrepreneurial pie. And so if you're one of those people, like if you're watching in the live feed, just like hit say, heck yes, that is me. That's 100% me. All right, let me tell you what you're going to get out of today a little bit. Okay. We're going to talk about basically the inner game stuff, right? Why it matters. Most of you, again, you already know, it matters. And here's what I want you to understand. We're all guilty of this. We just want to have this like, I just wish there was a strategy that would fix this. Can somebody just give me the gosh darn formula? Yeah, no, the formula is you, the strategy, right? Gone are the days, because we are sovereign freaking women. Gone are the days where we're hoping some freaking Prince Charming is going to save us. Can I get an amen, right? Yes, we apply strategy, but we do it only after we have cultivated the ground, the soil. We've created the right foundation, right? So today I'm going to talk about the 3 places you're expanding: your value, your identity, and your capacity. And I know those words seem just like, oh, yeah, sure, right. But I'm going to go really deep with them, okay? All right. So have you ever thought, like, you have this big dream, right? You have this dream. And that's why you're here. You're courageous enough. Like I think anybody that starts a business, you are my people, because we're like we're crazy courageous, right? This is not easy, especially when you are what's up for sale. Most of the people that I'm speaking with on this call are very likely service-based business owners, right? And when you are up for sale and you have a dream, oh my, that's where a lot of the gremlins come in, and the mindset stuff happens, right? So if you have this dream, but it hasn't turned into the money maker that you thought it would be, you're in the right place. Keep listening. And you might be really tired. Like, feel this in your bones if it resonates with you. Do you ever feel like you're the best kept secret? I know I did. I just, and I sometimes still do, right? There's varying degrees of this. So put a comment if you're watching, like, I'm sick of being the best kept secret. Like, those days are done. We want you out there. We want you shining. We want you really like getting the results. We don't want you like working your ass off behind the scenes and things not flowing right. Okay. And you might be frustrated because, like, how many of us have spent boatloads of money to try to build our businesses and we're still not seeing the results? Like, A lot of people come to me because I'm not like the final stop. I don't want to say it that way. But I get people that are like, I already know how to market. I know what to do, but dang it, why is it not working? And what I do, if you guys know me, I'll pick up my little pendulum and go, huh, what happened when you were 7? Because my intuition can just find it, right? So that's who I'm talking to. And thanks for the comments. I'm really delighted y'all are here. Thank you so much. All right. The challenge is when we come to our business, we try to fix the wrong things, right? It's an outside in strategy. I need to figure out who my target is. I need to get more leads. I need to build a website. Of course, right? That's of course. But very often we do all of that and we wonder like, well, how come they're not, why are they not coming? Kevin Costner, if you build it, they'll come. Okay, you have to build you. That's the thing. You have to build you. Because if you have wrong energy, if you have faulty beliefs, if you have anything that's going, I'm sorry, that's not safe. Yeah, because your grandfather's mother, sister's brother, died because he had too much money. So hell no. And I'm being facetious with that, but there are influences that we are not aware of. And so if you're only focused on the outside things and you don't do the pieces that I'm going to talk to you about, you won't get the results. You might have actually sadly worked with mentors who did not get you. Raise your hand, give me some hearts. Sometimes we're like super sensitive, or sometimes we just have a nervous system that might be different, or maybe our human design is different. Maybe, we're not all generators. Maybe we're not all go, go, go. Maybe we need more quiet time. Maybe we need a little more time to process, right? And how many of us have been made wrong? Like, well, you didn't do it right. Oh, it didn't work for you because you weren't willing. It didn't work for you. No, it didn't work for me because it was the wrong freaking formula, right? So that's sadly out there. A lot of mentors say, well, here's my 7-step, here's my 7-figure blueprint. I'm like, that's cool and all. I can show you why that's not working for you, right? Because you can't take somebody else's blueprint. Hello, let's go back to, we are sovereign women. And I want you to get that in your bones. You can create anything, but focus on the word you can create, not so-and-so gives you permission. So-and-so shows you the way. Yes, we all need mentors, but a lot of it is, I want you to understand, I have the power within me. Do you want some power, women? Raise your hand. Yes. Okay. And also what happens is, like, when you focus on strategy, that's actually the smallest part. So I'm not saying no strategy. Absolutely. You have to have strategy. You have to have sales. You have to have marketing. You have to understand your messaging. Of course. But that's the smallest part, because I literally will have people just go, my strategy is flawless. What the hell? Why is it not working? Right? So I'll give you an analogy, and it's kind of a silly analogy, but it'll make sense. And if you've been following me a while, you've heard it before, but it's so good. Okay, so imagine you have a basement home and you come down and you're like, holy crap, there's 3 feet of water. Oh my God. And you run upstairs and you're like, okay, I got to call my brother. And you call him and say, hey, Kevin, I don't know what to do because there's 3 feet of water in my basement. It's just getting really smelly. Where should I go? What should I do? And Kevin says, I feel like if you had some rose bushes and then add some more little shrubs, if you have a better curb appeal, it's just going to be a lot more welcoming when you drive up to your house. And you're going to like, okay. So then you call your friend Janet and you're like, dude, I don't know what to do about this water. This is just it's just so annoying. And what should I do? And Janet says, I was thinking about your house and your living room just needs a little feng shui. So I feel like if you put some teal in it and maybe some fire element, then there'd be a lot better flow and people would just feel more grounded when they, and you're like, oh, okay. Nobody's talking about fixing what's really under it, right? And that's what we do, right? Okay, let me take a sip. And I just want to thank you all for the love. So I'm a words of praise love language. And so I love the interaction with the people that are watching live. So thank you all for coming. Feel free to just put comments in, shout out, whatever you want to do. Okay. So when you get what I'm going to teach you today, your business will feel better because it's more aligned. How many of us have tried to sell stuff or, thought we had to, well, this is the only thing that will sell. This is, it's just like, no, that's gross. That's just super gross, right? It's not up to me to tell you what's going to sell. It's not to me to tell you. I might give feedback based on, oof, your energy's not, no. When you say that, your energy just tanks. Why are you trying to sell that? That's never going to work. I can do that, but I will never tell you, nor should any coach ever say, that's a horrible idea that won't sell. It's not theirs to decide. It has to become with you and your energy. So you're going to have just a better business that feels better. Okay, next you're going to make better decisions, right? Because when you are like owning your value, when you've got the identity locked in, when you are managing and expanding your capacity, things are going to flow. You're not going to be in desperation. There's not going to be the fear, the imposter syndrome. You're just going to feel more confident. Like, can I get an amen, sister? I love amen, sisters. You should see me when I'm doing a live talk. Oh my, we just do a lot of like, preach it, Therese, because I love the interaction, right? So some of you know me, some of you are new to me, and welcome, Claudia. I love that you are here. Debbie, Safriana, Alice, Terry, all the women watching live. I miss some of you, so thank you for being here. What I could have used when I first started is what I didn't have, and that was me. I literally wish I would have had Therese. It would have been nice to have a mentor that really understood what the problem was, because back in the day, I started as a life coach in 2001. I know, do the math, my God. And then probably about 2003, I moved into the business coaching. So it's been 20 years. And back in those days, well, there was no talk of mindset and energy. Well, maybe a little mindset, but there's no talk of energy, goddess, intuition, the divine. It was hardcore marketing, just hardcore marketing. So it was, what's your target market? What are their problems? What's your solution? Boom, go. And I kind of sucked at that for a really long time because I didn't understand what the problem was, right? So I didn't have somebody like me that has the insight. Like I didn't have somebody that could focus on what I needed, because everybody was focused on the externals. And the truth is, you know how they say, you teach what you need to learn, right? I will just own that. I didn't own my value. And that has become, and I still don't own it to the degree that I could and should own it. There's always opportunity there, right? That is my growing edge to just go, I kind of am a badass. Because sometimes when it's super easy, when you're just like, okay, yeah, sure, right? Thank you, Mary Angela. I love that too. When you don't own your value, like that's why I start with this. We're going to talk, that's going to be the number one thing we start with. Doesn't matter if you know how to sell. It doesn't matter if you know how to market. It doesn't matter, because you cannot attract what you can't own, basically, right? I also didn't have what I call the next level identity. See, I had this, well, I'm sorry. I used to say, I'm sorry, I just was a therapist. I'm sorry, I feel bad about that. And people would be like, are you freaking kidding me? Literally, like, that makes you so much better. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I suck. I don't know how to use Excel. I don't know what a P&L is. I suck. And again, I'm being playful, but kind of not, right? It took me so long. My path to six figures was not, some people are like, oh, I did six figures in 8 months. Yeah, it took me years to get to six figures because I didn't own my value. So that's when I'm like, this is my, like the Irish saying, stink on shit around that one. You're not owning your value. Like, I spot that a mile away. I really want my women to own their value. Hold on a second. And of course, all the things I teach is because I had those issues. I'm a genius at teaching sales. Oh my, I love to teach women my fearless and soulful sales system, because guess who sucked at selling? Yeah, girl. Yeah, when you don't own your value and can't figure out what makes you different, and you're too afraid to ask for anything. yikes, that is not good. So I had a ton of mindset issues, and I was like, I was a mess. So truthfully, everything I teach today comes from my challenges, comes from me making the mistakes, me losing the money, losing the clients, not being able to do the great work that I am here to do because I had so much shit, right? Not that I wasn't smart. I was a freaking marketing strategist. I have had magnificent training. I know all the things. I'm kind of learning Facebook ads, so I don't know that so well, but I know how to do that stuff. Still didn't work because what was wrong was me. So that's why I get to teach this. So I was a therapist, I was business coach for 20 years. And then now today I blend this magnificent intuition so I can wrap it all up in this very crazy cool package for you. Okay, so today I'm a trusted expert, right? I own the value, got the six-figure business. I finally said yes to my unique gifts and messages because I have to tell you, talk about identity. Oh my, when it first started occurring to me that like, hark, I know stuff. They didn't teach me this in therapy school. What in the world is this? How do I know there's a curse? And holy shit, I'm supposed to clear this? Wait, hold on, wait, right? So I didn't go seeking, like, I want to be an intuitive healer. I did not seek that, but something in me decided that that was going to be the thing. But I had the identity of like, wait, because again, I came up in the zeros, 2003, 4, 5. Nobody was an intuitive healer. Those people were nut jobs, right? Oh, the crazy psychics over there, those, weirdo hippie people. So my identity, I literally was like, I cannot do this because if I do this, I remember saying this, I will be laughed off the stage. I cannot acknowledge, I cannot disclose this. So for me to say yes to the gifts, that means I get to help you say yes to your gifts. I get to help you go, what is in me that terrifies the heck out of me? Or what is in me that just has to come out? And I strengthen that for you because I've lived it. Okay. Ready to roll? I can take a breath. All right. Give me some words. Tell me how this is so far and what you're looking forward to while I take a sip of water. I got 2 glasses of water. I'm going to be double fisting today, labs. Let me tell you, this is a concept that I have created. You might have heard me speak about it if you follow me because it's a really important one. I call it the expansion zone. Okay. And there is a plane flying overhead as we're talking about expansion. Magnificent. So here's the thing. I believe, and as I'm sure many of you believe this as well, we are soul, right? We are a soul living in a body. And people say, I'm a spiritual being having a physical experience. I think soul goes through everything. There is a soul of your business. There's a soul of your programs. It's like we are souls, right? And as such, as a soul, that to me means that we are also connected to the universe. We're connected to that which created us, which means just as the universe is ever expanding, just look at the cosmos. Can you go, oh, there's where it stopped right there. No more stars. It's all done. Nuh-uh. When you are one with all of that, you are always expanding as well. Now, I think sometimes that's both a blessing and a curse. Like how many of us are like, okay, perfect. I'm looking at Saffron. I'm looking at you, girl. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is my career. Shit, that's irrelevant, right? Like this is, I can't do it anymore. That takes so much courage to listen to that, right? And so there is in all of us this longing for more, this urge. Okay, that's the pure expression of your soul and the work you're here to do in the world. The purity of it, it's magnificent. And then, okay, so that's one. And then there's a part of your brain, basically, which is your subconscious, that wants to keep you safe, small, stuck. Here's where it comes from. Back in the cave days, when the first man came, basically, there were some really scary things happening. And so to protect that, our wiring, you've heard of fight or flight, our wiring is like, wait, hold on, hold on. Something's going to jump out of me. I got to be careful, like that hyper vigilant. This could go wrong. That's going to make sure you don't stop looking around. Bad things could happen. Right? So your brain is the opposite. So your soul's like, expand, grow, do more, be an explorer, be freaking Amelia Earhart. Yes, go. And your brain's like, oh, sweet Jesus, would you just sit down? And I love to equate it to, if you have a kid, you might remember those things called playpens. Do they still have those? I don't know. My kids are old. And if you're a dog owner, they have a thing called a crate, right? And so as a pet or human owner, we put them in those containers, basically like, oh, okay, they're safe. They're not going to go running in the street. They're not going to get into danger. Awesome. Okay, good. So everything in you, you get this dichotomy. You've got the soul wiring pushing for more. And then you have the unconscious, the subconscious place that is like, yeah, but that's going to be dangerous. Like, what if you don't make money? What if somebody judges you? What if everybody thinks you're just a dumb, like me? You're going to be literally laughed off the stage if you start saying that stuff. Shut up. You're crazy. Nobody's going to believe you. This is insane. You'll be just homeless and broken, living in the street with your dog, right? So you got the soul doing this, and then the subconscious doing this. What do you choose? Most of us have been and trained to listen mainly to the shit in our head. And when I say head, what I mean by that is sometimes you get the little voices, right? You can't do this, right? Like, what are you thinking? This is crazy. Nobody's going to buy this. You're going to, you get that. Or perhaps it's just an unconscious sabotage, right? Maybe it's like, wow, I'm super distracted. Or perhaps my fave, you get injured. Hello. Anybody in that club? I'm up to big things. Boom, fall and sprain my ankle. Boom, like that's been my system's way of taking me out. So the goal is to navigate that zone. Okay. I want to expand. And so that's what I do. What is that? What is that? Yes, yes, yes. Let's do it. Go. While going, okay, I know you're scared. I know you're scared. I know we can mitigate that. Hold on. Because if you don't understand those two seemingly opposing factors, it's going to be real rough for you. Got it? Okay. So let's talk about owning your value. So give me some words. How was that explanation? Does that make sense to you? Can you see in yourself like, oh my gosh, I am so wired to expand, and or holy crap, you're right. I'm just being put in a playpen, or this this person that's running me stuck me in a dog crate. I can't get out. Like, where are you with that? Because I always say when you have awareness, you have choice. It's the most important thing. When you have awareness, you have choice. And the work I do is we make the unconscious conscious, so you can go, oh, whoa. That's why I took a lot of time to explain that phenomenon. So you can go, okay, wait. I want more expansion. And that means I will be triggered. My stuff's going to fly up. All my fear is going to be in my face. Who do I have to be? And in this next few moments, you're going to learn about that. Okay. Yeah, and Alice says lots of back and forth between, exactly. What I love is women that are like, yes, I'm called for more. You are my people. And what I know is most mentors don't understand this dichotomy. We'll just do more action, just do more. You don't want it bad enough. Make some more sales calls, do more emails, get some Facebook ads. Most people focus on the tactical do more, as opposed to hold on. I think I was talking to somebody a couple days ago, and it was, if I do this, I literally will die. Because sometimes there are really past life interferences, literally like, holy shit, yeah, and another time you were killed for, yeah, oh, that's what that is. So it's like, it's seemingly crazy. I say, do a Facebook Live, and you're gripped with stuff. It's very often perhaps a past life. It comes from epigenetics, perhaps your history and your traumas and your family. I'm going to talk about that. So to navigate those, right? I want to follow the expansion. I have to develop identity, capacity, and then I got to navigate the contraction, the fear, the doubt, the paralysis. Okay. That's the work I do really well. Okay. Point number 1, own your value. All right. So when I say that, what comes to you is like yawn. I know. Yeah, that's a great kind of little platitude-y, a little great concept. But what I always say is own your value. This is where money is made or lost. This in every single thing I teach. You must get this one. This is not negotiable. This is like, so I'm in my house today. If somebody decided, you know what, we don't need the walls. We don't really need that. We don't need the supports. We don't need the supports. Just stick a roof on it. Well, you can see what happens, right? The owning your value piece is the most important, because if you lack this, it's like we can't build on a faulty foundation. I do a whole teaching on this. Actually, I think I'll do that. Maybe next week I'll do another class just on owning your value. I'll do an experiential process on owning your value. That's what I'll do. I'm inspired. Okay, y'all will get an invite for that. Basically, it's what lights you up. What do you bring? What's that only you can do, right? What's the difference you make? Now, sometimes you don't own your value because you doubt it, right? It's like, I don't know. Like I was talking about my intuitive gift. I'm like, I don't know. Doesn't everybody know how to do that? It's no big deal. So sometimes you literally cannot understand the impact and the importance of the work you do. What I always say is in this domain, what we do is, well, never mind. I'll go into the tools in a moment. So I'm starting this process like, here's what the problem is. And here's some ways to flip that, okay? You don't own your value. You might be doubting it, or it's like the blind spot. It's the blind spot, right? Like I always say our brilliance is in our blind spot. We just take it for granted, right? Like, well, everybody, that's not a big deal. So we still have the very puritanical thing, like, it's got to be hard. Like it's only valuable if it's really hard. Like things that come easy or free, somebody gives you some money, it's like, oh, I didn't earn it, right? There's still that stuff rolling around. So sometimes things are just in blind spots. Like, I don't know, so one way to own your value is ask others. Ask others, ask others, ask others, ask others. That's why we get testimonials. That's why we do client interviews. Sometimes there literally is, what would you fear if you did? What relationships would shift? How would you stop being and how would you start being? Like if you were really finally in your power, that might rock the boat. You might stop saying yes all the time. You might just be like, yeah, that's not going to work for me. Ooh, maybe you will get condemnation from your partner, or maybe in your family, you were always the one that took care of everybody. And now suddenly you're like, yeah, that doesn't work. Thank you. Yeah. Relationships would shift 100%. They do. So the thing there is, but who's more important, right? At the end of the day, always choose yourself. Always, 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 always. You might have been socialized out of it. I remember a client, brilliant woman, and her family message, she had two girls, I think, that she had a sister. And it was, oh, so-and-so's the pretty one. This other one, she's the smart one. So so-and-so can just find a husband because she's so pretty. The other sister got to be the solid, smart businesswoman. But imagine being raised, well, your value is because somebody thinks you're pretty and maybe they'll choose you. So sometimes there's just a lot of messaging about that. And sometimes we devalue, right? In my Fiercely Brilliant Facebook group and my other group, all the work we do, I'm like, okay, share a win, victory, breakthrough. Give me a brag. Because I think it's very easy as women to be like, no, it's no big deal. There's no I in team. We all did it. No, it's fine. Oh, it's nothing. No, it's the opposite. I want you to have a place where you can step up and say, I'm kind of sort of proud of myself. Can I share? Can I share with you? Because shit, I guess it's really good. Like women need to be doing more of that. We need to have standing applause or standing ovations and applause. We need to have other women going, yeah, yes, I love cheerleading. Like I have a friend, Laura, that she's a fellow coach. And, she's telling me some where she is. And I'm like, so proud of you. You're doing it. It's awesome. Yeah, 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 yeah. Right? We need that in our lives. So somebody says, I would stand up for myself finally and speak up like that and own my value. It scares you. Yeah, absolutely. We stay in the comfort of the known. The undervalued version, and we're going to talk a lot about identity on this next one, but we know how to navigate when we're deferring, when we're not potent, when we're like accommodating, when we're a little codependent or caretaking or not asking a lot, there's kind of virtue like, oh, I would hate to charge that much. Oh, I should be there for everybody. La, 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 la. Some of us are called to make a bunch of money, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And so there's stories of minimizing your value, minimizing what you can have. And so I'm kind of a beast on this one. I'm like, yeah, no, not on my watch. Not on my watch. I want women to stand and be bold. Like I always do this, like, okay, hold on. Wait, I have this beautiful thing. Where is it? Ah, a selenite, a beautiful selenite. Okay, so imagine that this is a lighthouse, right? Y'all know what a lighthouse is. The work of a lighthouse is to shine for the boats, to bring them to safe harbor, basically, right? And the lighthouse just stands there so boldly shining. The lighthouse isn't like, oh, hold on, that other lighthouse down the way, they might feel bad because hold on, maybe just dim a little bit, maybe. Or in lighthouses don't chase boats. So like, hey, anybody need a light? Hey, what are you doing? No, a lighthouse just stands there doing their great work in the world. And that's what I want you to get that image in the world is, I am a lighthouse. I'm literally a beacon of light for the people that I'm supposed to serve. And if I'm not brightly shining it, they're not going to find me. Shall we sing This Little Light of Mine? We could do it. I've actually done that at an in-person workshop. Okay. So 2 tools. And if you work with me, trust me, we always focus on this piece. We do. This is foundation for everything, because when this changes, everything changes. Okay. So the number 1, 2 tools to transform this. Are you thinking transactionally or transformationally? When you think about transaction, so let's say you're going to charge $200 for a session, whatever your session is. What I will tell you is, I'm going to call it gremlin. And what I mean by that is like the little voices in your head, as in the subconscious going, not safe, right? So when you do a transaction, let's take a bigger number. Let's say I'm going to charge $5,000 for a package, right? The transaction is like, oh my God, that is so much money. Really? Can you really, what if they can't pay it? Like, that's a lot of money. They could get that cheaper. And who are you to deliver that? And blah, blah, blah. Like the transaction will turn on you. The little unsafe voice inside, the subconscious that's trying to keep you safe, small, stuck, is going to be like, oh my God. All right. The way out of that. And I want everybody to get this. And I literally will do a workshop next week, maybe the week after. We'll see, because it's a Labor Day holiday. But I'm going to do a whole workshop on this one, and I'm going to have worksheets. We're going to walk through this together. It's going to be good. Transformation. So the transaction is, I charge this much for this much. I charge $5,000 for a 3-month program. I charge $100 for an hour session. I charge $350 for this transaction. Okay. When you focus on that, you are cursed because it's just literally like the gremlins are just gonna eat you, as opposed to, and if you come to my other event I'm going to have, I'll walk you through this more. What is the transformation? So let's just say, I'm just going to make up numbers. Let's say I charge you $5,000 for 90 days. Okay. Imagine that in 90 days, you completely start owning your value. You get super, super clear on your messaging. You have cleared out, we've moved away the blocks that have prevented you from being safe and seen and visible. You have a strategy and a plan. You know exactly what you're working on. And there's a super tight container around you whereby you are so darn loved. So in that love, that container that I hold, the wild belief in you, what's possible, right? So from there, you could create this and this and this and this and this. So on one hand, if I say, wow, $5,000, that's a lot. Who's going to pay that? Oh my God, nobody could pay that. That's too much. So, right. I'm being a little playful here. Versus, wow, imagine if this, what's possible from that space? And then what's going to happen like over the lifetime? So if they invest $5,000 one time, what's going to happen in the next year? Because they're at a whole new level. They're attracting higher clients. They're more confident. They're getting better visibility. Like, you see the transformation happen? So with this one, it's literally like, if you had the cure for cancer, I'm going to get this guy again. If you had the cure for cancer, would you be like, I'm sorry to bother you? Like, this is cure. This is you. You're the lighthouse with a magnificent cure for somebody's ails. You are literally an answer to somebody's prayer. If you had the cure for cancer, would you say, I don't want to be a bother. I'm sorry. I should not. I don't want to. I already sent an email last week. I don't want to bother you. What if they reject me? So I want you right now, understand in your bones, to somebody, you are the cure. To somebody, you are literally the key that will unlock what they need. Do you get it? I got to plug my computer in. So type in what you get on this one, okay? Because if you understand that, hold on a second. If you understand that you literally, because I believe on a soul level, we are called to certain people. We have our experience, everything we've gone through, that makes you the right person for that potential client. The next thing about this owning your value piece is, what will they avoid? What are they going to avoid? Oh, I love that question. If they do not work with me, well, I know for me, somebody doesn't work with me, they're going to avoid making stupid decisions about and spending bad money. So generally people will be like, oh, I just need to get a new website, and I need to get some branding, and I need to get probably new headshots, and I got to get a new wardrobe, and I have to pay somebody to do some leads for me. And like, I literally had a client, she spent $40,000 on all the above: copywriter, website, new photos, a marketing strategist, a branding person, all like bells and whistles shit, $40,000. And after a few months, her husband's like, okay, that was a lot. When are we going to see that money back? And she finally came to me, and literally it was like, crap, I didn't work on my mindset. So I don't want you spending $40,000 of stupid money. And I'm not saying you should not have a website. I'm not saying absolutely not. But there was nothing in her story. This is so fascinating. This is an example of what goes on. When she was conceived, her dad, I'll tell you how old she is. Her dad was sent to Vietnam. So the mom was pregnant. The dad got sent to Vietnam, killed in Vietnam before the baby is born. So that's what she comes in with. So her life turned out really difficult in that she had to take care of the mom. She had to, dim her light because the mother was basically broken, right? The mother was just shattered. And so this beautiful soul was like, oh, I can't ask for anything. I only have to take care of mom. So literally every professional job she had, she was in the background. She was, helping the CEO. She was doing this, never shining. And so she spends $40,000 to shine. It didn't work until she came to me. And I unblocked that. I'm like, whoa. So literally your infant self, your fetal self, the you that lived the childhood whereby you couldn't make any waves and you couldn't have any needs and you couldn't ask for anything. Yeah, that one's driving the bus. Are you following me here? Because this is huge. Just this is huge. Okay, so own your value. Transaction versus transformation, and what will they avoid? You must answer that for yourself. And I will do a whole workshop on that. Okay, I'm getting that I'm a key for people that need me. Awesome. And somebody else says, I'm a lighthouse. I'm a blessing. I'm answering others' problems. Yeah, I need to embody the new truth. Yeah, girl, go. Okay, speaking about embodying, let's talk about next level identity. So we went own your value, then we went identity. FYI, this is probably going to be 75 to 90 minutes. I don't know. I got lots of time. I got a lot to teach. So hang on, keep staying with me. Thank you for being here live. Okay, in my marketing, I referenced Amelia Earhart. She was the first woman to make a transatlantic solo flight. Now think of what she had to overcome. Think of back in those days. Do you think women were flying planes by themselves? Do you think women were, they were barely voting, right? Like, do you think she had to fight the identity of what women of her time were allowed to do. She literally she had a dream and she had to go, I'm going to make this happen in spite of what everybody says. So somehow it's like the dream got her. And then she had to create an identity. Obviously, she had to have skills. She didn't know how to freaking fly a plane, right? So you have to have the skill. But she had to embody the identity of a woman that's like, I will have that. Had she listened to everybody else, it would have been like, oh, yeah, no, girls don't fly. It's too dangerous. We can't let a woman fly alone. And now think about it. I don't have all the information in front of me, but what she did opened the way for other female pilots. She was a pioneer in women doing courageous things, right? Like she's written books, she like created Female Pilots Association, like so many things because she dared to dream. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps. Y'all feeling that? So what I want to hear from you is, what are you daring to dream right in this moment? Just take a moment. What are you daring to dream? Because you have to just let that, let's just start there. Ooh, there we go. I can feel it here, loves, while you're doing it. Because when you dare to dream, you open a portal, you open something. If you don't get the dream, there's no reason to have an identity, right? Very often our identities are what has been given to us. I was at my chiropractor yesterday, and there was a sign and it said, work hard and be nice. And I'm like, oh, sweet God. Freaking propaganda. No. And it's not the work hard I have a problem with. What do you think I have a problem with? Be nice. Be nice. That shit has socialized women out of their power for decades, right? And so oftentimes our identities are what somebody else told us we are, or what our life has given to us, right? So when you dare to dream, you say yes, oof, you literally get infused. Okay, so the identity is your operating system. It's the you that you think yourself to be. There's a conscious aspect and an unconscious aspect to it, right? So you might be conscious of like, yeah, I'm a nice person. I'm a person who, okay, well, there might be an unconscious part that says, if I don't take care of everybody, I'm bad or nobody will love me. So there's also unconscious pieces that we need to pull up. What I want you to hear is you can only go as far as your identity takes you. Think about that. I'm really doing the work I'm doing on myself these days is, I call it my mental toughness time. I am basically forging a new identity where I say, it doesn't matter what those results were. It doesn't matter what that situation did. Like, I'll give you an example, right? I came home. I live in a mid-century house. So my house was built in 1960 and I have these massive pine trees. Like, they're probably 50 years old. They're taller. They're probably, 80 feet tall, 2 pine trees that just hold the house. And this house, my in-laws, my beloved in-laws lived here. This was my husband's childhood home. We inherited it. And so it's very special. It's not just a home. It's like, oh, the ancestors are here. It's kind of sacred ground. And the other day I'm like, oh my gosh, my pine tree looks, oh crap, that is not looking good. So get an arborist here and they're like, oh, you've got bugs, you've got parasites, bad stuff is going to happen. And he gives me a bid that's like, a shit ton of money, right? I'm also planning a trip to Ireland. I'm like, oh, that money was for that. Wait, hold on. And so I had this moment of like, then I was like, wait a minute. You are a limitless being. You can create a different situation. You are not going to go down. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. No, you're not going to accept that. You will not be afraid of that. That will not be overwhelming. The tree's not going to die. You are going to, no. And I literally have been working on that. My identity is, no, I am not like, oh God, things are happening. Oh crap. I got to overcome. Yikes. I have to be resilient. Nope. I already did that. So what I did, let me just tell you the story. I'm like, nope, get more bids. And I got the most amazing people. The guy just came today and he's like, oh, no. Here's what we're gonna do. It'll cost you $200 for this fertilizer and $200 for that. And we'll just do that and get more water. And then we're not even gonna prune it. Maybe it's not till next year. And I was like, oh, oh, but I knew it. See, I had the identity of, I will not let this take me down. So this now becomes my operating system, as opposed to, a problem. Shit, I have to overcome it. Does that make sense? So you can only go as far as your identity takes you. So when you want to go to next level, we have to forge a new identity. And we're going to talk about that. So there's another piece to identity. Are you moving away from or moving towards? Most people, let's say you want to get healthy, right? Let's say your doctor says you've got really high cholesterol and you need to lose weight, because if you don't lose weight, if you don't exercise, you're going to have a heart problem. And you're like, okay, I have to have exercise, so I don't do this. Versus, you know what? I am really healthy and I love the energy that I have when I exercise. I'm going to keep exercising because I'm going to have a greater life. Do you see the difference there? Most people are often motivated by moving away from something. There's a problem with that, because when things get a little better, it's like they got to create another thing to move away from, right? But when you know that about yourself and or your marketing and like who you people are, it helps. So for you, why would you forge a new identity? Sometimes it's fine to have a mood moving. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. I'm sick of those. That's totally fine. But you got to build it moving towards. That makes sense. Okay. Let's talk about why you hide from things. I was working, I did a little mastermind. So a person was, I'm just going to call her Amy. Amy was, I did a little hot seat for her and I didn't really know her. And so I super intuitive, and she was having trouble with visibility. She could not get visible because she was trying everything. She was a new coach. She just couldn't figure it out. So I pick up my pendulum and I tune in and I say, there's something on your mom's side. It's not you, it's your mom. And it's like from your mom's childhood. And she said, oh my gosh, she was raised in a war zone. And there's a story in the family that, you know, there were bullets always flying. They're always at war. And soldiers broke in and took their brother and made the brother serve in the opposing people's army. So it's not safe to be visible. Literally hiding was the solution. And so if you think about that, when you have stuff like that, you can create any identity you want, but until you understand, like, whoa, there's something that's holding me back, something that is, my identity is it's better to hide. My identity is nobody should see me, right? So I'm showing you this because sometimes these are the blocks, right? Okay, sometimes your identity, you have like either a weak or a false self. You don't feel strong. Maybe you have created a persona of caretaking, codependent, always being there, you know, work hard and be nice. Yay. Maybe you just don't know where to start, right? Maybe nobody has given you permission to say, what's next level you like? What is that? Like, what's emerging? What would be cool? What would just freaking light you up? That's what I do, right? Maybe it's literally not safe, perhaps in the relationships you've been in, or, you know, in your world, to like, whoa, if I start speaking my truth, I don't piss people off. Well, I will tell you, I have lost friends because I speak my truth. I have lost friends because I am sovereign and I'm like, and I don't impose anything on anybody. I just be me. I do me unapologetically. And sometimes people like, they can't hang, and it's very sad. Okay, so how do you shift it? How do you shift it? Hold on a second. And I'm loving all these comments. Wow. Elijah, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Nice. Thank you for sharing. Okay, you start with who you are. I want you to witness, right? If you were to literally track yourself, say, who am I? Who is my identity? I'm nice, I'm friendly, I'm kind, I'm loving. Sometimes I'm lazy, sometimes I'm sometimes I'm angry. I'm just making these up. Like, who is your identity? What makes you? Also, ask other people, how do you show up? Because sometimes, remember I said we devalue it, we minimize ourselves, our brilliance is in our blind spot. Ask other people. Ask other people. I delight people to be like, you're such a badass. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I show up like that. Because to me, it's like, I just am being Therese, right? So sometimes, and ask safe people. Don't ask people that are invested in you being a certain way, right? There's also the inner and the outer parts, right? So you could have like an inner badass, but externally to the world, maybe you're a little passive, or maybe you're a little tentative, or maybe you're afraid to ask for what you want, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you're blustery and bold, but then on the inside, you're like, oh my God, is it okay to do, right? So I want you to just do a huge brain dump and figure this out. And this is what I can help you with. Like, we have to get this identity piece now. So what am I now? Now go here. What does my next level version of me, what identity does that need? I know for the next level version of me, I need to have more mental toughness. I need to like not back down. I need to be more disciplined, more on it, bolder, owning my value. Like, I know next level Therese, like I do visualizations with my clients. It's like, boom, what's that next level you? You can create that in your mind. And when you come to the call next week, so there's 2 calls next week. There's one call next week, and actually the one call the week after. As a bonus for being here and registering for this, you are going to get a bonus call. Because remember, I said today that this is just pretty much heavily teaching. And then next week, the whatever next Wednesday is, whatever date that is, at 1 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday, I'm going to invite you to a mastermind where we're going to go deep. I will coach, we'll clear, we'll answer questions. It'll be magnificent. That's next week. And then actually the following week, I'm going to do something on owning your value. So you'll get to do more. All right. We'll do visioning about who am I? And now I want you to notice your resistance. Where are you resisting? Because the resistance is where the magic is. That if you are courageous enough and diligent enough to lean into the resistance, to discover like, whoa, there's a part of me that's terrified. There's a part of me that's afraid so-and-so is going to think this. Oh my gosh. Crap. There's a little girl and that's thinking I'm going to be abandoned. That's how you find it. That's the healing, right? You have to do that work. All right. So think about next level identity. If I were to have that, what would happen? What would I fear? Who would be impacted? And then finally, what's the payoff for staying here? What's the payoff? Magnificent questions. You're going to get a recording of this so you can watch this and like take notes on that one. So before I go into point number 3, I want to tell you, at the end, I'm going to tell you about my expansion mastermind. And I'll tell you what it's about, how much it costs, what's involved. And I also have other ways to work with me. So what I want you to do is, if you are having any like, whoa, I want to see what's possible, I want you to message me. We'll have a conversation. I have ranging from $97 programs to thousands, right? And so if you are like, oh my gosh, I have to have something else, I need more, just message me, okay? Message me, because I know some people might have to jump off at the top of the hour. So reach out. I love to customize. I love to say, oh, you want to work on that? We'll put together a program, right? So I have certain things that are set in stone and the things we can just figure something out for you. Okay. All right. Point number 3, we got to grow your capacity. So we start with your value, your sense of yourself, then we expand your identity. Now, do you have the capacity? If we talk about expansion, right? So part 1 of capacity is time. So everybody wants more clients. Truth, if you got 10 more clients right now, could you handle it? There literally is the physical, like the literal, the time, like in your calendar with your life goals, with the way you want to be. Is there time? Do you have the physical capacity? So sometimes it's just getting real about that. Okay, the second one is, how much can I hold energetically? It's one thing, if you're doing one-on-one clients, it's fine. But when you start doing bigger groups, when you start having more people, so sometimes it's not even the hours. It's like, wow, I'm holding the space for 30 people. That can be a lot. My most successful thing I did, I had this program a number of years ago called the Women's Wealth Breakthrough, and it was so cool. It was like a 4-week little program, and I think there were like 1,200 people signed up, right? And I had no idea about energy. This was, oh my gosh, this was 6-7 years ago. I wasn't into it as much as I am now. And 200 people, and it was just Zoom, right? I'm just teaching like this. And I'd get off the call, they'd be like, ah. And one of my friends was like, yeah, they're holding a lot of energy. 200 people, you're holding a lot. Wasn't aware of that. The next is, how much can you hold financially? Okay, we all have money set points. We absolutely have money set points. So if I say, you're charging this, how about you make 5,000 for 3 months instead of, 1,000 a month? Can you energetically hold that? Now, that comes with a whole ball, especially money. Oh my, oh my, oh my. We all have money stuff. We all have money stuff. So how much can you hold? Generally, you can hold what you're having now. When I work with people, again, I can pick up the pendulum and I can say, you're only open to receive $47,000. What are you making now? And they're like, weird, about 45. I'm like, so there's a lot in terms of capacity that has to be worked out financially. Okay, so what gets in the way? You're not recognizing this. You're not recognizing literally, okay, do I have the physical capacity, the energetic capacity, and can I hold more money? The second one is, you might be letting others dictate for you, right? It's like, I know, for example, when I had small kids, and a lot of my clients that were women with small kids, it's like, well, I can only work, 10 to 3. So I only literally have this amount of hours. So the family structure was dictating. Sometimes we have really unrealistic expectations of ourselves, right? And I want to tie this into the concept that sometimes life is in seasons, right? I'm just coming off a couple of years ago, a really hard season of my son being really, really so ill. And I have to say, in 2 days, he's going to have 1 year sober. He had like a lot of bad mental health stuff and substance abuse stuff and bad COVID and crazy shit. So my capacity, I pretty much stopped working that year, just barely did some clients. That was the season. That was where I was. I could do nothing else, right? And so instead of beating myself up or shaming myself, you know what I did? I took the SBA loan. I'm like, thank you, God, for the support, right? I worked on nourishing myself. I worked on managing my mental health through this time. I just tried to have fun and get healthy. And so I understood I have this much capacity right now, and there's nothing else I can do. There are other times when it's like, yeah, baby, I'm freaking going. I'm going to ramp this thing up, go, right? So you have to understand realistically, like, where are you at? Is it the season of generativity, or is it the season where something is being birthed and you're quieter, or there's family situations or health situations or other stuff going on, right? Okay, so tools for you is, first, check in. Where are you at with the capacity thing? Focus on that. Second, what do you have to let go of? If you were to let go of something, because that's usually it. Like, if we just go, let's just do the first one, the physical capacity. Okay, I have room for 6 more clients. Okay, well, what else is on there that you do? Like, when I first, I used to run everything. I'm such a leader. I was serving on my board at church. I was the president of my Toastmasters club. I was a, vice president of this over here. I was the membership over here. I was doing all the things, right? Because that's kind of what I do. And gradually I'm like, nope, let that go, let that go, let that go, let that go. Because the truth is, those took up time. And so what do you have to physically let go of? And then the second one is, what do you psychologically, emotionally, energetically have to let go of? Perhaps the belief that you'll be overwhelmed. Perhaps the belief that you can't have it all. Perhaps the belief that, well, hello, you have to work into the evening or you have to work on Saturdays because that's the only time clients will come. No, right? So that's the first one. We have to let go of. Second one is, how do you even know what your body's saying? Are you like tuning in? Because all the answers are here. Like, our unconscious minds can give us all the answers. The problem is they're unconscious, right? So you got to learn how to access that. And I help with that. Another one is boundaries, your identity. I was remember that year when my son was sick and then I ended up having a hand injury. I didn't realize until I was like literally, okay, well, now I've just had surgery. I cannot type or work and I feel like shit. So much for working, right? And I was trying so hard to do my self-care and nurture myself. I was in wretched pain. It was so uncomfortable. I'm left-handed. How do you brush your teeth when you can't use your hand, right? It was crazy. And one of the hardest parts, it was really surprising to me. One of the hardest parts was that I realized, whoa, I was really tied up with the idea of I am what I do. I am who I serve. I am what I create. I am all the money I make. That messed with me, right? I was like, Jesus, woman, you have a lot of attachment to being that. So if you have a lot of attachment to being that, you will not manage your capacity well, right? So do you see how they're really connected? So the goal here is get ruthless about your dream. Is it more important to go out with that friend that wants to see you for happy hour and you feel guilty? Or is it more important to spend that time working on you? Sometimes when you say, I have to get ruthless, I know as women, it's like, oh, I love that word. Because ruthless is like, it's going to happen, right? Your dream deserves it. All right. After you get like what you need, then what you do is you set standards, right? One of my standards is I literally will not answer my phone if I do not know the number. I don't answer the phone. So why in the world would I'm sitting here, I'm trying to do work, or I'm trying to relax. It's like, hi, I need a freaking telemarketer. No, that's a standard. This is my time, right? Standards are, I don't work these days, I take off these days, I do this. Those are certain standards, right? So the boundaries and the standards, they like put a fortress around your dream, right? Sometimes one standard I have is I don't listen to the freaking news and I don't allow myself as best as I can to be swept into the bullshit that's going on in the world. One of my standards is I nourish myself really well. I take exquisite care of my body and my health. And though I did have a little ice cream thing yesterday, because why not? We all need a little ice cream in the midday, right? So when you do this with the standards and the boundaries, it like puts a fortress around your dream. It protects it. It protects your time and your energy. Okay, but here's the thing, like you can do this, but if you don't have other people witnessing on a consistent basis, like holding the vision for you, you can get into the old patterns, right? A lot of the work I do with the women in my groups, and some of you are in my groups already, it's the permission. It's a permission. Like the permission is like, you can do this. You got this. You got this. You got this, right? So, all right. Now I'm going to switch to, I want to tell you about my mastermind because I love this. Hold on one second. Before I get started though, I would love to hear what your takeaways are. If you're on the live call, what have you learned so far, right? I would love to hear what's going to be different. Please include that in the comments. That would mean a lot to me. So I want you to imagine 6 months go by. And if you could expand into the most powerful, brilliant, most boldly self-expressed version of you, what would that be like? Seriously. You know, one of my clients, Dorothy, who I adore and I've worked with for years and years and years, for her, it wasn't just increasing her revenue by like 50%. That was cool. And she started taking more time with her kids, more vacations. She's spending time with friends. Like she's expanded her service. She could help more people. She's doing more what her soul is here to do. So it's not always just the money, right? Sometimes it's just more life, Like that's a really cool thing, right? Okay, so the Expansion Mastermind group, it's a very small group. What you get, and I say small, like 5, right? So a lot of coaches call their things masterminds, and there's 40 people. That is not in my world because I love the intimacy. I want to make sure everybody gets a lot of support. You get deep, personalized worth and business growth, right? You get soul expansion, you get increased sales, and you have so much support. Here, you're not going to waste time trying to figure it out, right? Because it doesn't work. It literally cannot work. If you could, you would. You're smart. You're determined. You've tried to do all the things, right? What it is, it's energy, alignment, embodiment, and then inspired action. So that's what we work on, those things. So we get your energy right. We get you aligned to your vision and goals. We help you embody that. That's that identity piece. And then we get you in action. And we keep circling back through all of those as you move forward. So remember, my superpower is the ability literally to see things that other people can't see. This is me owning my value, by the way, right? I can say, that's my superpower. I literally can go, that's where it is. That's the thing, right? And because of that, it's magical. It is so different. I think my coaching is very different from most coaches out there because of that, right? There's also the other magic is the experience of the group dynamics, right? I always bring the coolest women and this group working together. So it's not just you and me. Of course, we're going to have private coaching, but it's like you have a sisterhood. You have people like cheering you on, and we're all supporting each other. It's very cool. So what it is, truthfully, in this program, there's no formula. It's not like, well, month 1, we're working on this, month 2. It's not a group coaching thing. It's a pure mastermind. So the formula is my magic. And then you, right? Thank you, Alice. I'm freaking awesome. I'll appreciate that. So it's my magic, my intuition, my understanding, and then you growing your magic. And what gets produced is literally magnificent. Of course, we grow your business. We use strategies, we use marketing and sales, but mostly, hear this, we grow you. In fact, one of the last cohorts of my mastermind, one of the women that was in there, because she was working with me in a mastermind, and she was working with another mentor. And she comes to one of our calls and she said, you know what? My mentor doesn't get me. I have outgrown her because I've decided I'm going to follow my guidance. I'm going to follow my guidance. And she's not hearing my guidance. She's giving me formulas. She's telling me what worked for her. She's not listening to my guidance. So this woman got so clear on, I know my guidance and I'm committed to only following my guidance. Ooh, that's a game changer. The other person that was in the mastermind said, you know what? Whenever I work with you, I make more money. And this person has worked with countless other mentors. Like, this person has had a lot of experience. And they said, every time I work with you, I just keep coming back because I always make more money. Okay, so really quickly, 6 months container. It's going to start probably the end of September, maybe early October. So this is a hybrid. This is the first time I've done it this way. Usually I would do a 6-month container, have a certain price, and have like just a tiny bit of coaching, like a couple sessions. This is the hybrid. So you get the 6 months plus you get kind of unlimited access to me privately. That's a big one, right? So what we'll do is we'll start with obsession. We'll do a strategy, a deep dive strategy. And then we're just going to have like Voxer or WhatsApp or like messaging, right? So during the week, you can say, this is what's going on. Hey, check out this page. You have so much access, more than any other group I've ever run, actually. I will tell you, this is an experiment. Okay. It's an experiment. The full price is $7,500. Full pay is $7,000. And I am totally cool. You can make 10 months of payments. You can pay free or whatever you want. Now, I will tell you, this is for the more, on your way to 6-figure kind of coach or service practitioner, person that's been in business for a few years, mostly has their marketing dialed in. If you are interested in, like, I want a group, but I'm not there at that level yet, I also have another group starting too, wink, wink. And it's obviously not $7,000. So message me. Let's get some calls booked. Let's figure out how I can support you. Okay. So what we learned today, expansion is everything. If you aren't doing it, you're trying to fix the wrong things, right? Or if you're working in a way that's not in alignment with your energy or your values or who you are, it's just going to cost you lots and lots of time and energy and money, right? And mostly it's going to cost you doing your great work in your way, but it doesn't have to be that way. So I just want to basically say to you, we can get this. So you are like daring, just like Amelia Hart, you can dare, we can get that for you. All right. So I'm going to wrap this. I'm going to stop this video. Hold on one second. And so great. I'm glad you got to listen to this, message me, and I will be in touch with the call next week, the bonus call.